Okay, so it's around the same time as yesterday, and I've been up for a while, and it's so strange too, is because I swear to God, this is not. I get up so many times all throughout the night, and then while I'm asleep, it's so busy too, and it's like I swear to God, these nights seem like they're like fucking days or something. Seems like, oh my God, the light goes outside. They turn off the lights and they tell us it's a certain amount of time, but it feels like it's like fucking 12 hours. And I'm having so many weird things with time. Like, so I mean, everything is off. Like, nothing is matching about anything. And it is, the whole thing is just so unstabling. And, it's just weird. This whole thing, like, I mean, what day would it be if I didn't say how weird and how weird I feel and how it just gets weirder. Never goes to being like, it is, there's just so many strange things that are going on. And I just saw this video of this girl, and she was, out picking strawberries or something. And she was like, what the hell is this? And she got a video of it, and she went up close, and it is the strangest thing. It's really small, and it looks like a frog, but its head is like a hippo. It looks like a mix of a hippo and a frog. And so she was like, does anybody know what this is? And everybody she must be in Canada, because everybody in the comments was saying, that's a Canadian house hippo. So, everybody, I mean, I said, thanks, scientists, for bringing back the dinosaurs and dragons, because I think that's what's going on. And, let me think, because there's like so many different things, like, just like lots and lots of things. Like, I don't know, a few hours ago, because it still is the same night. But in Texas, oh my God, there's so many videos of the air thing that went on. And it's just so crazy because just the day before, the girl said there's going to be something's going to happen up in the air, and it's going to, a lot of people. And so I've seen so many people were out videotaping this when it happened. And it's really weird how it was on this night while this star is giving birth. It's like there's so many, like this stuff is so like micro macro to me. It's so all connected. It's weird, because it's just like the story's so big. It's so much bigger. And so they are all up there looking, and there's some big light up in the sky. And so at this soccer game, these women are filming of it. This woman, she was so freaked out looking at the sky. She wasn't keeping it in the thing. And the girl next to her, she's not paying attention. All she wants to do is get this footage to the news. And but they're having this conversation, and there's all these kids and stuff, and some of the kids are talking, and their video, they're watching this big light thing is coming, but then a plane or something comes up from the side. So, and they were saying there was like 5 of them, but goes up, and so they said it like went up to it and started circling around it. And so the object unidentified, which, this shit could be blue beam. Like, there's so many things. Like, this could literally be blue beam, and then they release a toxin in the water. So, I mean, the whole thing is that's why you gotta just be so, like, watching and just paying attention and going deeper, man. I swear to God, I see these people all the time, and they'll be saying something like, Trump stuff. And to me, just like what my guys are constantly showing me, it's all by perspective. It's all by how much more information do you have, how much more information you have. Because to me, when I hear these people, I keep thinking they're not seeing. Like, there's so much more to see. Like, So I don't know. Everybody's got to make their own decisions about everything. You know, this is each person. It's you. It's your consequence, your journey. It's all about you. This is all about you. And so, but it definitely, to me, when I hear some of these people talking, and they can say things like, you know, I don't know anything about, but there's something just deeper. You know, there's like a whole spiritual thing. There's like a whole cycles. There's, you know, they get too caught up in the, I don't know, what is that? The inertia or something. The little, the trying to, like I said, they're just focused on like one hair out of a head of a whole head of hair. And so, anyways, okay, now I gotta get back on. So, but all the people, you know, one good thing is all the people are talking. So everybody's talking, and like on this, everybody's looking up at the sky because there's so many videos of this. And so on their footage, they see this thing come up, this plane or something zooming up, and then it's going around it, and this object shoots out something, and it's trippy because it looks like a ring comes out or something, like it's this birth thing. Because even somebody did the video of you know, the birth just happened or something, because it's this astrological thing. So this thing shoots out, and these women on this soccer field started freaking out because they started, besides wanting to get it to the news, and the one lady couldn't even keep it in the camera, and she's just talking about what's going on, but you can't see everything. And but she started getting really panicky. She started saying, oh my gosh, what did they just shoot out of there? What are we having on us? Like, they both start being like, oh my God, I just want to go home. I want to get, like, this is making me feel sick. And that isn't the only one, because there was like the day before, I saw another place where something was like shot out over them. And it was the same thing where the people were like, oh my God, what the hell? You know, and started being like, I feel sick. So, you know, and it's kind of like they put so much of this in our minds. See, that's what always gets me, is that they've got to have it in our minds for it to be effective. So, but they put it in our minds. So we feel sick, but then they're also making us sick. Because people are literally getting sick and dying nonstop every day, all day long. So, I mean, it's like more complex and complicated. And it seems like to me, because of all of that, is the main thing is for you to like tune into yourself and do what's right for you. Take care of yourself. Notice what your body needs. Notice how you're feeling. Like you're tuned into yourself. You're paying attention. You're giving yourself attention. And, you know, you probably haven't given yourself this much attention in a long time. And I think that's kind of what sickness is about, is like this, we need to give ourselves attention. We need to focus on ourselves. We need to see what's going on. Like we're run down and beat down and stuff. This little light thing is going. And there's other things about this light, like, you know, if somebody really wanted to know more about, like if they were thinking they wanted to buy one, it all depends on what you're looking for, that's for sure. But the Bluetooth speaker doesn't really turn up loud. I didn't turn it on with a music, but I had music going through it, but it was too light to see the star stuff if it was doing anything. And so, but the thing I don't like about this is it's just like these green stars. And I wish there was like more star patterns, more galaxy stuff that you could turn on. And I don't know, that just seems, you know, just being able to change the color of the borealis doesn't seem as significant to me. Like, but it had so many good reviews and stuff, and I don't know. I kept thinking the spaceman thing was like gimmicky, and so anyways, I probably would look more into the spaceman one now. So anyways, let me think. So the things sprays out, and so there's all these different people all over the place in Texas who got that. So then it's going to be like, I'll see how many people start getting sick in Texas, but see, it can also not even just be what they, this is what's so crazy when they're testing and stuff, like how we're lab rats, because they can do something, like they are so much fucking ahead of us, as they can do something like that. And then like there was a bunch of towns when people were putting the footage up, it was a bunch of different towns. And so like in Rowlett, they could put something in the water, and it all mixes together. See, they're always watching things, and it's like they're trying to come up with like a pill we need. So they want to make us sick with a certain thing, and they want to see how they can affect us and make us sick through this stuff. And so in Rowlett, and they could be putting something in the water, and so everybody thinks now like this stuff has come down in the thing. But also some people's minds will make them sick. And then in another place, they could put something, in, there's so many different things that they can do. Fuck. I mean, they can use aerosols. They their mandates and laws, and they do all that stuff to, so that they have to put like stuff in our food and stuff. That is, I was saying before, is how, like the FDA or whoever, we'll buy your food, to the agriculture, we'll buy your food, but we have requirements. In order to sell your products, you have to use our assigned fertilizers and shit. And that's how they get, so much of the stuff in us. It's out of some of the people's control if they want to sell it. But that's because we're allowing these people to control us. And it's each of us has to stand up. But as long as it was just this farmer over here, this lady over there, that teacher down there, as long as we were separated, they had more control. And that is, they even had us all convinced that something was wrong with us. We were the ones like, everybody else is doing great. Hey, keep it to yourself if you're not. And everybody's going around trying to pretend like they're doing great too, because nobody wants to look the fool. And so, we just have a total dysfunctional fake ass society, and everybody's fucking chasing this fake ass shit. I just saw the guy in LA. Was live. I was watching him for a while. As right when it came across my thing, there was like a shooting happening, and so there was a cop shooting thing, and he said they cleared that body real quick. But there was, and they had all these cops showed up in riot gear, and they were all lined around, and all these people, and the guy who's the filmer guy, he lived in the building thing. And then he was talking to another guy who had a business there, and they wouldn't let him in. The guy had heard shots, and he went running out of his back building thing. And he said he looked out the window, he said, which is stupid. But that's when they saw the body laying on the ground, and the cops, and the body was handcuffed. But then the body had a knife. Like, who knows? There's old movie after old movie about this fucking cop corruption shit and planting evidence and all this stuff. So, who knows? Like, it's just the most corrupt thing. And those people, there's just so many people that think that they can just do things and get away with them because they think we're in a moralist society. It's like, no, dude, you're just choosing to have no morals. It's inside of you. You're making the choice. So, and once you understand, you're going to have an impact. There's a consequence. So there's karma. There's but that is your own stuff too. Like, that's your own soul's journey. So, and your soul is always journeying. So it's, it's a part of your stuff. But so anyways, the guy who was in LA, he said it was crazy. He was talking to the people. I hadn't been on there that long. He was like, can you even believe how many things have gone on tonight? This is the craziest. There hasn't been this much stuff. And he said it's kind of like they just opened it up for the purge or something. And he said, oh, and I saw yesterday, I saw someone live for a minute, or maybe they were just doing a video because they were stuck on the freeway in New York, and all these cars were stuck because the car went in front of them full of, they were flying a flag. Who knows? It could have been a total, I mean, the stuff is just, they're just trying to create chaos and fighting. I think they're not going to be as, it's going to be way more that, like when guys fight, or even like gunfighters and stuff, like there was certain things that it was more proper. Like if you're going to fight, somebody's going to see you. If you're going to shoot somebody, you don't shoot them in the back. You're going to stab them, you don't stab, you give them a fair fight. And that's what they're kind of, they're not going to take on it as many big groups unless it's like a huge situation kind of thing. Even that fucking, all of those paratroopers coming out, there's already, that was not even real. That was footage from years ago in Egypt or something. It's like totally, they're just constantly just pulling out old footage and marking it as just happening. And they keep getting caught. They're getting caught setting up shots. The craziest footage is coming out. But, that's the hand of God. That's the truth being expelled. Like, there's no way they can stop it. It's an energy. It's the unfolding. There's no stopping it. So no matter what they do, it's going to keep backfiring. It's going to keep going wrong. And so, in the guy in LA, he was saying that it's kind of like Friday the 13th, and everybody was just like, let's just go crazy. He said it was so crazy. Oh yeah, because so on the one footage on the New York highway with this guy with this flag, they dead stopped all the traffic and then just sat in the freeway doing donuts, going around and around, making all this smoke, waving one of the flags, and because all they're trying to do is find too hot, a hot subject, a hot topic, and then blow it up. So that, look how many people that got fighting about it. And I guess apparently, and this to me is so, I think that the young people kind of expose themselves to themselves because that they don't have facts or history or something. They're so misled. And and they're so set up for division from all of the older people, all of the people who, have life experience, who have lived through some of the history and stuff. And these young people think that they know it, even though they don't. And so I guess they're doing some stuff online about this stuff going on that seems it's really going to blow up in their faces. Because there's people like coming back at them like, you guys don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And so, but all of those things is, so the people can expose to themselves their own sides of themselves. Like all these things are prearranged ways for the soul to see. And the guy in LA, oh yeah, because the guy in LA, when he was just doing his live thing, all this traffic was also stopped on another part. And because I ran across this thing again, and all his traffic was stopped. I was like, fuck, that's a lot of traffic for, it's like fucking, right now it's 3:43, but so that was like 20 minutes ago or something. So I was like, fuck, was that many people out? And at the shooting thing, the one guy said there's like 1,000 drunk people out here. He said, I don't know why they have a riot gear. All these people are drunk. And, but, who knows? That can totally be like, they get it all set up and then they have the instigators called in at a certain time. And then they've got all the drunk people right there that get hit in them, but it's all a setup thing. Because that's what they're doing, is constantly setting this shit up. And that's an easy target, a bunch of drunk observers. So, they can do stuff like that easy. Like in all these places where all these drunk people are gathering, it's like, oh my gosh. But that's the kind of situation where we're going to see a lot of things happen. Probably this weekend, there probably was shootings in bars and stuff. is that's the easy target. It's like because when you see all these videos of all these people who are like, come on, they're ready, they're bringing it on, and they're talking about how all their itinerary or arsenal and stuff is like, fuck. Like, there's gonna be some fucking shootouts, man. There's gonna be some fuck. So I think, they are not wanting to, I think that the people who have come, like the ones, because I think there's more than just I think that there's also some groups of people. Like, I really think that they have been evacuating some places because it's so extreme. I mean, how could the UN have this much control over this many men in all of the fucking world? Like, there's something more going on. Like, if they are putting up information in some of these places saying, please send your men. We need all these jobs. We've got this problem. Please, everybody come. You have to be a certain height and weight, and all that stuff, and tell them that they need to come to America, because there's all sorts of videos. We're not getting to see them as much, but I have seen them where the people who are coming over and saying they lied to us, and here we are, we don't have any money, we don't have a place to stay. So there's some shady shit going on. Not everybody's here for the same shit, but it's kind of like the beard, and so they got but the people who are the criminals and stuff, these guys are shady fucking like these are lifetime criminals. These aren't like, they're not going to go busting into a house and be no, they'll wait outside of a store, and when a woman and child are coming out, and do some stuff there, because that's just as effective. I mean, a whole fucking town can be brought down by a child, something happening to a kid. So they know that. They know how it affects us. And so they, that it's just like a Free Guy when he was saying that it's just the whole part of our life is just to keep us destabilized through this constant trauma, re-trauma. And so everybody's just beat down, and then it gets people lost, man, where it is like they just think, oh, well, just do bad shit because everybody else is. No, don't do that. Don't just do bad shit because everybody else is. Like, fucking go deeper into yourself, man. That's what is gonna a big thing that's gonna just come up with a lot of these young, because that's one thing too, was I heard this one person saying is like how shallow that's the younger generation. See, they don't realize how indoctrinated and programmed they are, and how shallow and artificial, and they're all like held back, like they're scared of their own shadow. They're scared. Their feelings are raw. They're disconnected. They don't know how to interact. Like, they've got a lot of big problems. Like, we have a lot of healing to do, and I think it'll go fast once things start, the dominoes start falling in that direction. I think part of the problem is because of the disconnect that is happening in them is unstabilizing them. It's making them, kind of crazy. So I think that once they get more online into what is real and out of the artificial stimulation, then I think that they'll kind of get into it a lot better. Like, I think they'll probably do better than, like, for instance, like my mom or older people who have been highly programmed throughout their whole entire life, especially on things like religion. Religion is such a big one. Then they've been highly programmed their whole lives. That programming is going to be, and it's not going to make any sense to them. I mean, there's way too much about that's coming from demons, and they're being tricked and stuff. And there's a whole thing about this time of life that was going to be come that was going to be a big thing that they needed to watch out for. So they're totally got their walls up on some of this stuff, you know. They are, man, we'll have to see. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, I just think my mom will go down to her dying day thinking that it's all lies, and Jesus is real savior and God and all, whatever the programming is, whatever they have the people believing. I don't know that the people will really, I think they're going to have the hardest time. I think that there's so many things and people who really did, you know, immoral or shady things, the shame they're going to feel when they realize. And so those ones, they'll be lost suicide with that, though. Because, but that was, I mean, if they can do it, that's because that was always going to be the way it was going to do. And there's going to be so much of it that's going to be like, yeah. Oh, and NATO put out a thing about by 2025, the population in America and in England, we're going down like, in America, we're going down like 70%. Because California is, a lot of people are going on California and New York. But those are really crowded places. And I know the disaster is just waiting to happen there. And then even when I was listening to that guy, the live guy, he was just like, yeah, all about it. Like, that's so cool. Yeah, loves the drama, loves, like, you know, and it is that divide between this artificial and the natural. And, you know, maybe this artificial reality that's going away is just going to pop up somewhere else. Like, maybe those people are just going to be washed away and end up in another reality somewhere doing the same shit. Like, but they're, you know, that's one thing in California is just like, I don't know. Maybe there's something in the water just to make them all just so shallow. Look, I don't know. I lived there for 10 years. And, I mean, it was weird because leaving from Texas, where I thought everybody was like such a redneck, I was like, fuck, it's so, I don't know. I just bothered me at some point because I was young. Guys driving around with guns in their rear view or and I just felt like, oh, this is not my people of like who I'd want to spend the rest of my life with. And then this guy from Southern California comes in over to my friend's house, and he didn't like sweep me off my feet. He just kind of like directed me in like a misdirected child who had no idea. Oh, he's being nice to me. He must like me. It was the beginning. No, there was like, oh no, it was the beginning way before that. Like, fuck. Yeah, I've had some. We all have our certain things that we're here to go through and work through. That's just for sure. And it has to do with way more than just this life. That's the thing. It has to do with karma. It has to do with other lives. It has to do with playing roles. It's a complicated thing that's going on. But, okay. Because let me think, because there was something I wanted to say that it was like, seemed very important at the minute it was flying through like a banner. I'll have to see. Okay, so the guy's spinning around doing that, and so trying to cause chaos, trying to, like, if they go and they stop everybody on the freeway, stop everybody out here drunk in the middle of the night, well, fuck, early in the morning. So, the bars have been closed, like, people are leaving the coffee shops at this point, or the after-hour clubs are until 4:30 or 5. So it's like the people who left the bars and went to the coffee shops are leaving. So they've already eaten and they're tired and they're ready to go to sleep. And then they're stopping this traffic thing and getting out and spinning and making it, like, there was so many spins. I couldn't believe how many circles were in that intersection. And so they're trying to instigate, they're trying to start fights. They're trying, and especially with drunk people. And I bet you in all the different cities, I bet you in fucking goddamn Oakland, San Francisco, Nashville, Memphis, I got all the, I did see some live video, and there was nothing. Times Square seemed like nothing was going on. But, you know, I mean, anything can happen at any time. Just because they said, well, we're starting the purge doesn't mean that they were all going to do it right then. And all of the different people are not here for that. Some of the people are here for some kind of promises that were made and they're not followed through on. So they're kind of being, and this is the thing too, where everybody keeps trying to be about human rights. It's like, we got to come together as humans. Like, these people are being lied to. They're being brought here too. They're being, you know, they're getting put in the middle of this and they don't want to be, you know, they're just like us. And, you know, but we got to come together, but they're trying to create all this division with the people. And then you've got these people who, I swear to God, they're starting to act like psychos about the division. Oh yeah, it was about the, that's one of the things, but there was something else, but the movement. So, okay, you know, over there where all this stuff is supposedly going on, which we have no idea. All we're getting is videos that we know videos are set up. And now even some of these big, huge things, like all of those lights where they said it was like missiles going and going, that was old footage from some other thing that was nothing to do with that. So all the footage that they were using on the news was all fake ass shit. So, you know, but then you see different people talking. So, I mean, just because the towers was fake doesn't mean people didn't get hurt and die, you know. So so that seems like that there really is some people getting hurt, but those could all be crisis actors for all we know. But this one was, so this lady, and she was very upset, but, you know, I mean, she could be a crisis actor, but she could be real. They just want to keep everything, because how can we be supportive? And then if we are supportive, it's like it's mental. So she was saying, but this is why I believed it, because this is something I've been saying for the whole fucking time. And they've proved it over and over and over. Like, this is something that keeps being proved. So I think that what she was saying was right. So last night I saw, and I don't know if it was live footage or if it was just videos, but they told all these people that they needed to evacuate from, I'm pretty sure, Gaza. And so, which I'm pretty sure this is the Pale people, the tribe people. And so they told them, you know, gotta go. It was, you know, they told them they had to leave their land, because and it seems that this is like beachfront property too. And so they told them that they had to leave their land. And so, and I don't know if they start shooting things at them or whatever. So the people all are just leaving. And like, when you see the footage, it's like, it's all so different. Like, you got people walking, carrying bags. You got people like with horses. You got people with cars. You got people with trucks. It's just like, you know, so different. And so their evacuation was really in the road. Didn't even, I mean, it was like definitely not like our freeways or anything. It didn't even seem paved fully. So anyways, you got all these people leaving in a rush, like carrying suitcases and shit. And so then that was last night that I had seen that. And so, you know, I was like, fuck, I bet you my stomach's going crazy. And I swear to God, it's a sickness. Like, I won't even go through all the stuff, but I'm fucking, I feel for sure. Like, and I don't know, I am trying everything I can to, like, heal myself, raise the vibration, do everything I can to just heal it. But you know, I don't, fuck, so crazy. I'm even gonna get some magnesium. I was like, maybe magnesium, maybe that would solve it, you know, just add some more minerals and, you know, the things that we need. So anyways, let me think. so they've got, they told all these people they needed to evacuate. And then so this morning I saw a video, and so they were evacuating, making them all go. And then they just started, this woman said she just saw like 150, just boom. And she was crying. She was like, this was a setup. And that's what I kept saying, though. That's what I've said the whole time about all of the evacuation. I even, when I was talking about here, is it kept standing out to me is like, you got to pay attention to the stuff that comes to you, like the things that people say to you. This is why it's so important. It's like changing your awareness, so that you start having a different awareness in the conversations and the interactions that you have. Because the evacuation stuff started for me when I very first moved here. And I wasn't thinking anything. I mean, this was pre-2020. Like, I knew shit was coming, and I had known about the map, but I kept on thinking, that this, I don't even know. I kept thinking about like where to go and stuff like that, but it was kind of like the universe took me to a certain place. And so, I gotta trust that I'm here for whatever reason. So anyways, being here and, okay, let me think what I was saying now. So coming up here, what the fuck was I saying? So I was going here. How did that get me so off of what I was talking about? Okay, I gotta get back to what I was saying. My stomach is going fucking crazy. It's so crazy. I cannot believe how sick I feel. And I still gotta do, somebody had said about doing the saute the onions and then put them on my chest. I've been so fucking big. It's so weird. It's so weird. And it's weird, like, man, there's so many things that are weird. Like, fuck, this is just the weirdest experience. Oh, yeah, okay, so, 2019. And so, moving, oh, yeah, okay, so, in the evacuation, when she was, this girl who, when I went, because I was trying to make a, community. I was trying to be a part of the community, and I was doing things. I was volunteering, and I was being, and then I was on the HOA. That's when I started seeing like, oh, this is shady shit. So, just because there's no fucking reason. There's no motherfucking reason somebody should be telling us anything about like what color our house can be or any of this shit. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. I cannot believe how much control that we constantly have over us, and that people just keep on doing it. They'll pay for it. And so, but one of the girls on the HOA with me, she was a geologist. And so she was talking about volcanoes and stuff like that. And so she was very concerned about the volcanoes. And she was talking about our evacuation. And she was saying, we've got such a horrible evacuation where we are. And they keep bringing in all these more people. See, like right in my neighborhood where they're adding all these more people. And they have us all on this road. They can't even, and they keep putting these big trucks. Like, you can't even believe all the shady shit. Because they're not supposed to be able to bring the trucks in. I was like, this whole thing. And then you say something, and then I'm like, even when I've tried to say something to Whatcom County, it's ridiculous. It's just shady shit. That's why we all have to come together, because just one of us alone trying to fight against these people it's pointless. We all have to see. We all have to start coming together. But it's the scene. And so it takes a while because everybody's so focused on the shiny object. So she was talking about the evacuation was a problem. And so she was explaining it to me about the evacuation. And then I was talking to another lady when I became friends with the little farmer lady. And she was talking to me about the evacuation, about the area, and about how to get around, and about all the problems. And she was down in town when a storm happened, and all the roads got blocked off, like trees fell and shit. And she said it was so hard to get back home, to find the route to get back home. And so she was talking about it. And she was saying you should learn these roads down here so you know how to get around when shit go, like if something were to happen in a storm or something. So she had talked about it, and I had, and I still, we weren't at all of this stuff that had been going on. But then I started seeing more things. I just started, going on the road trips, and I started seeing like, okay, this is nonsense. They're just stopping our movement. They're just controlling our movement for no reason. And way out in the middle of nowhere. And where I started seeing, that they were doing it through manipulation, like when there was like not much gas, through times when people are out trying to travel. And so you could see clearly that they were doing it on purpose. And so then I started putting that together. Okay, so they're controlling our movement. They are, they've got it set up on how we can move, where we can move to, and they can block things off and constantly control our movement. They can fucking control our movement by having a truck drive slow in front of us. So, and they do that. Like, I know traffic is created, and it is, just to keep people, I mean, what better way to get people tense and pissed off before they walk in the door of their homes, because they want the families to fall apart. So, and they know traffic is going to fucking, people lose their minds. People will fucking shoot people over it. Like, people do not, like, and anybody's been stuck in traffic knows it's so frustrating. So they do these things to create frustration and create anger and to just keep us all, destabilized. But so then when I started seeing it, it's just like I was just putting it together. It was just all coming together. And I could see, okay, so they're going to start doing evacuations. Like I would see a movie, I would see all these cars stopped in the middle of evacuation on a highway. And I was like, oh my God, that's what they're going to do. They're trying to get us stuck. They want it to, it's like a trap. And then it keeps happening. Hawaii, total trap, telling them to evacuate, getting them all up there and then not letting them out. And here on this one, they just told them all to evacuate. And then as they're trying to get out, they're just taking them out. It is, and then, they'll just blame it on, well, it's those damn terrorists. It's nothing to do with us. Don't look at us. No, we have nothing to do with it. Is that, we don't, oh, really? With all your sophisticated technology and all that, but you just can't seem to handle these guys. These guys who just live out in caves and shit. Okay, gotcha. These are your soldiers. These are the people who work for you. You're not tricking us. You make sure that they get their jobs done. And then it's all to cause chaos and create havoc and beat us down, kill us, kidnap us, murder us, steal our stuff, and break into our houses, and I bet you that they get a fucking goddamn list. The houses that they'll be home invasion doing on, it would all be dependent, man. If they go into one that's got a bunch of weapons, like, they get information. They probably get a goddamn folder, telling where the weapons are, who's got them, what they do for a living, how many kids, where they sleep. Like, the Roomba fucking sent out information on people. Like, it's fucking mental. And they probably get a whole thing in it. So if they go into one that's got a bunch of weapons, well, they're ready to take yours. So just be prepared. They're going to just come in and blazing. And they'll just come in and they know right where your shit is and they'll take it. If it's somebody who doesn't have them, and they'll send over the guys who like to skin people alive, like I seriously got out my bug spray last night because I had some weird shit. Like one of the ones was like a car. Like, there kept being cars, but these did not look like cars that a realtor would be driving. These are, so he's definitely, one of them definitely looked like a car that you would think would be out there spinning circles. And so, yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So anyways, I got out. I have a bug spray, the kind that the fogger kind. And one thing too, if you do any of those kinds of sprays, you got to remember your own eyes. So be prepared, cover your own eyes, have some goggles ready or something. And I don't know, I mean, I would definitely fight if somebody came in. Me and Stella would fight them. We're not going to just, I'm not a movie girl or just sit and scream, help. It's like, okay, this is on now. We're going. And I'll fight to the death. I don't give a shit. As that's what we're here to do. We're here to stand up for ourselves, to be ourselves, to take on whatever and know that we're okay, that there's nothing that can really hurt us. But the not standing up for yourself, not being true to yourself, that will hurt you because it's you. So you'll feel that pain. That pain is the pain that keeps the drive of you wanting to do better all the time. So, anyways, they're actively with evacuation, which I've said the whole time. If they tell you to evacuate a certain way, go a different way. Don't go the way that they tell you, because it's a setup. I've said that for years now. I can't believe I even have that coming out of my mouth. I swear to God, it's like a time warp. I still feel like I'm in the first year of this. It's like, fuck, I'm about to go into the 4th year. Like, what? This is when 2024 starts. That will be the 4th year. Because I did all of 2021, all of 2022, and all of 2023. Like, what in the holy hell? I swear to God, I thought when I started this, I thought, oh, it'll be over in 6 months. Like, no way. Like, oh my gosh. And still how it has drug out and that there's still people asleep. But that to me is like, no, because this other part is they're meant to wake up to the other part. Because it's going to be a hitter, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be a heavy hitter. And so that's, and it all has to do with their own karmic lessons and their own stuff that they're trying to learn and grow from. And it's going to have a lot to do with each individual's person's stuff that they have to work on and how it's going to hit them. But that is going to be the big thing that's going to, whatever is going to go down, because there's still people, that think, like, there's so many people that just don't see. They just don't see. They see one thing and they don't see the rest of the things. So, like I've said about 10 zillion times, it's all in your focus. And if your focus is very tiny, like, you need to make it bigger. You need a lot more information. Gather some information. Just like the whole point of, gathering the information. She's talking about volcanoes and evacuations, and then the neighbor's talking about storms and how she can get home, and then on the firehouse, on the banner sign or whatever that thing is that they put out front, and it kept saying all through the summer. Last summer is when I noticed it, and that's when I started becoming more concerned about the evacuation stuff. And they kept putting up a sign, know your route, know your evacuation and stuff. I was like, okay, the universe is definitely telling me that, the evacuation is an issue. And so, just be aware. I've thought about it over here. And I know I'm no fucking way would I go towards the 5 or go towards Seattle. Like, I'm sure there was some shit going down in Seattle. And there is going to be a lot of shit. Like, there's some shady fucking cops in Seattle. Like, god damn. The leaked footage and shit. Like, fuck, all these cops, man. And they're just going to keep being exposed. Like, all this shit has to be exposed. And people have to be, there's a lot of people have to go through a huge humiliation. And that's part of their awakening. And, and plus there's going to be a lot of justice served, man. This is going to be, and it's going to be a deep hitter too. Because there's going to be people who are going to be getting justice that people are going to be like, well, I wanted the bad people to get justice. I didn't know my family had a bad So it's going to be there's going to be a lot of trauma. Just because, nobody knows somebody at their core. You don't really know somebody. We're not, because this used to blow my mind, even with my first husband. Because I used to always be like, fuck, I don't even know this person. Like, fuck, no matter what someone even says to you, they can just say whatever the fuck they want. That doesn't, you still know them. People can just put on this whole front and be somebody so different. That just really, really impacted me back when I was like 20 or 21. And I was just like, fuck, it's so crazy. And, but we got to get to a society where we're all not trying to hide ourselves. where we're all are authentic. We're proud of ourselves, no matter how weird we are. It's just like, God damn, the weirder you are, the more unique you are. Like, well, the shinier your diamond, like, don't feel shame about being weird or unique. Be proud of yourself. But, that's a big switch from how they have programmed people. They've just programmed people to be so beat down, so shallow, so embarrassed of themselves. And, it takes a lot. Like, people have really fell for it. People have hidden themselves. People feel bad about themselves. And, you got to just keep on not worrying. Don't worry about what other people think. Like, where is there like, how in the world can anybody's opinion of you matter that much to make you feel bad about yourself? Like, you got to get through all of this. Like, you got to use your mind to break through. It is like breaking through to the other side. You got to see through this stuff. Like, just that alone has so many different things. Like, just for the soul's judgment, that is pretend. That's not real. Just so however you're basing how you feel about yourself is based on something that's not even real, because this is all fake. It's a fake artificial game. And so you're basing it, how you feel about yourself, based on stuff that isn't even real. And so you got to get to the, man, I don't know, because it's, I don't know what it's like to come from that. So I don't know. It's weird. Because, like, for me, when I was a kid, like, I was super, super insecure. I felt like everybody knew I came from this really crazy house. My dad was crazy, and my mom was, she was like a ghost. She was just like, she was a little kid. And she was in problems that she didn't know how to deal with. And so, like the whole world. And so anyways, I don't know. It was weird, because I just have always like, I wasn't close to my mom, and I always felt like she hated me. She never seemed to want to talk to me or whatever. She'd slap me. She always was looking at me with disgust. Our relationship didn't improve until I think I was like 18 or 19, and I was determined I was going to make a relationship with my mom. And so I just would go and sit down and just start talking to her. I would always go and give her a kiss goodnight. I just was like forcing, and it's weird because I'm not sure what it is that she didn't like about me. About my stepdad, when they moved to Washington State, my stepdad said, he told my husband that that they had moved there because my mom needed to move up there by me, because she needed to make up for how mean she was to me her whole life. And so, I mean, for him to say that to her, and then my husband to tell me. And so I was like, well, she was pretty mean. She wasn't close to me at all. And then I started trying to be, but it was never, and I completely get it if she felt like I was judging her all the time, because that's a part of the broken person. They feel judged all the time. You feel judged. You feel like everybody's judging you. And that's where you got to release that. You got to be like, fuck it. Judge me all you want. When we could all sit and judge you, I'm sure, but you're going to waste your time and energy judging me, then gosh, what a lonely, sad life you must lead. So you got to get in your head, like, the person who is judging you, like, what would their judgment matter to you? If they are a negative, hot, hateful person, then why would you? Don't concern yourself. Don't try and please that person. Don't try and be somebody to, so you're not judged or whatever. Don't give a fuck. Let them judge you. Who fucking cares? Maybe they can learn from your mistakes. Like, don't get caught up in the shit. So, but when I was a teenager, man, it's so weird because every time when I look back, it's just like I just see my guidance was always there. Every fucking thing that I go back to now and I'll look, and it's like when I see me, I don't just see me. It's like I've got a group with me because they were always leading me. They were always telling me stuff. And I don't know if other people just didn't have that. I don't know what other people's existence has been like. But when I look back, there was like so much more conversation going on inside my mind. Like it was like I was always being taught and trained stuff from the start. Like I don't know what other people were experiencing, but I was like, I'm not kidding you. Like when I say the people would be like, they start talking to me. I would, it's so weird because then I think about when I was at this birthday party, the house that I tried to run to when I was being chased, when I got scarlet fever. And I jumped out the window and I ran across the street to that house. Well, that house was, I'm pretty sure her name was Tammy. And she had a birthday party. And I remember being at this birthday party. And this is why I think I ran to the house. But I remember being at the birthday party because she was across the street. But it seemed like I was playing with the kids in the alley more. Because across the street, so across the street was, across the street. But then behind them was the highway. When you went the other way, and there might have been another street in between. But when you went the other way, that's where the whole neighborhood started. So I always think of going that direction when I was playing. And so, it seems like Tammy, it seems like she would have been more one of those kids that were like, get home after school and practice your piano, and that she would do it. So maybe I'm just not remembering right, but she definitely did not see, she was definitely not out, riding her bike down the hill, hitting into the electric wire with us. So like there's a lot of things that some of the kids didn't do. It was just, there was a huge group of us that did. So, but when I was at her birthday party, because this always just kind of throws me, because when I think of myself as being really shy and quiet. But I was at this birthday party, and every time I would talk, everybody was just cracking up. And this woman who was standing at the front of the table, who was standing by, and maybe it was the mom, or it seemed like it was like an aunt or someone else's mom, because it seems like I would have known Tammy's mom. But so she was just cracking up, and she said that I should be a comedian. I was probably going to be a comedian or something. And I was like, what am I saying that's so funny? I couldn't figure it out. And everybody just kept laughing and laughing. And I was just like, so weird. So like, if I would be talking, there would be times when people would just be laughing and think it was funny. But if you went and you sat with me and you were talking one-on-one, then I was going to be talking about some deep shit. And usually people were just like, don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about deep stuff. They don't want to talk about like, what if, and I don't know. It's just a different way. People are a lot more happier talking about the weather and did you see what, so-and-so did last night, and it's just way more shallow. And so it always seemed like I was kind of like, I don't know, a lone wolf, but I had friends, but never like a ton of friends. Not like my sister. She always had to have this huge friend group. And I had, a couple of friends. I mean, I think I had a couple of in different groups. Like I said, I've always been like somebody who just goes around. I'm not like, stuck in this one group. That's what's so strange is like when I started having all of this, the awakening part is when my kids started saying like I was in a cult and I was going crazy and all of that stuff. It was like, no, I would never join a cult. I couldn't get that. I could never get that hyper fixated on something like that. Like I'm way more interested in lots of different things, and I just don't go as deep into some of the stuff, I guess. I don't know. But I always feel like, I have a lot of interest, and you don't have time to put as much effort into all of the interests. So, don't just go and put all of my time and effort into one thing in one group with one certain group of people. That to me is something like these people are dependent on each other. They need something from each other. There's something that it's like they all need the same, and they need the same answer to the same question or something. So that's like its own thing. Those people are working something out together. So that's its own thing. But anyways, I feel like I'm all over the place. So the evacuations, the thing up in the sky, I just bet there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to be getting sick in Texas. Like, it won't surprise me if there's a bunch of people all of a sudden have cancer, suddenly keel over, like, because that's the kind of stuff that they'll do. Because there's so many, patriots sitting there locked and loaded and ready and waiting. And they are way more effective on this poisoning us, and then creating the chaos and fear. But there will constantly be turmoil. There's going to keep being all of this stuff. Like, I swear, but you can see the people who are going out just mindlessly getting drunk. At this time, they have no awareness. They're not like they're not paying attention and what's going on in the world or something. Like, they're just going around just getting drunk. Or maybe it's just they just want to just give up. They just want to just like, fuck it. What else are you going to do? But just go get drunk. But I feel like that is going to be where there's going to be a lot of bad shit that's going to happen in areas where we think of as being super shallow and superficial, and kind of where people, like the religious people, see, God would say, don't go and drink alcohol, don't go to the bars, they're killing us, or this is God's retribution. But really, it is this energetic switch. It's this changing energies. It's just like the cold and hot water fluctuation in the washer. It is it's certain energies are coming and certain energies are leaving. So it's not, and it all depends on each soul, what their experience, what they're here to experience, what they're experiencing for themselves, what their energy is, what their vibration is. It all has to do with each soul. And there's like so much here, but keep in mind though, all the trauma stuff is for you to find balance in yourself. Because there's like lots of people who just don't pay attention to anything, and then they're going out and putting themselves in harm's way because they're just oblivious. And so it's like harm's way will come their way, so that it's kind of like, so humanity just learns. It's all about these lessons to learn, to be deeper, to be aware, to our consciousness to expand, to see more, to our awareness of more, our behaviors, everything is more controlled and contained by us, not by these controllers and containers and all of that, which I'm still so curious about that lady. And it could have been that she was I don't think it was a Scottish village, but she was apologizing to people in Scotland and England. And so, and I don't know if she's like on the coast where her little hotel is, but I'm really concerned for her. Like, she just must not know very much conspiracy stuff. Like, I think just being a conspiracy theorist, me having a hotel, like a bug, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you'd watch any like time period piece movies, like back during the Civil War, they did that shit. Back during the second one, they did that shit. I'm sure they've done it in all of them. They just come and they just take your place, and it's never good. So it always ends up that it's fucks the community. So, like, fuck. All these different places and things, like, fuck no. I wouldn't. And she said, you know, that she knows it was for the money. She knew. She said it was a lot of money. And she wanted the money. And so it's all this stuff that's going to be blowing up in people's faces about money. It's like this yearning, this chasing about money. It's like money is not the solution. Money is the idol worship. And that is the lessons that people have to learn. A lot of people who have worshipped. And like I said, the money has nothing to do with the things you need. It's this yearning, this searching, this just want to be rich, just want to have a bunch of money. And it's so weird too, because back when I was a kid, I used to always tell my mom all the time. I remember seeing this so many times. It's like, I could never be rich. I could never be a rich person. And I don't know, because my mom has always wanted to be a rich person. She's always. And so I don't know if we had these conversations or something. Because I would say, well, I could never be a rich person because I would be giving all my money away all the time because I wouldn't want other people to not have things. And I just always felt that way. Like, you know, like I don't have that need that I just need to be rich so that I can feel secure. You know, and I don't know. I just feel like this, you know, life is temporary. And that is like, that's like having a big old storage unit, isn't it? Something to worry about. Like, you gotta hold on to that money. I mean, just the silver alone is like enough to drive you crazy. It's like, fuck. That is, you know, fuck, just your house. They can come and take that. Everything that they can just come and take. It's just like more shit to hold on to. It's like more stuff to stress out about, man. But you don't need money is a thing. Like if you want security and you want a home, it's your attitude. It's changing your attitude, knowing you deserve a home and picking what you want. And they'll give it to you. They'll deliver you a home. They'll deliver you a car. They'll deliver you all the things you want. But the thing is that when people don't have the things they want, they just get so down and they just get so like victim. And that is, then you're on the learning. That's what I'm talking about, is like there's a learning timeline. And then there's the timeline once you learned and you are more action. You are more action driven. You are driving your energy in a different way. So then you're like, oh, yeah, I want a house. But then see, another thing too, is somebody who's just starting to understand about manifesting and stuff, is you got to keep in mind that it's not going to just drop in like a second. It's not like something that happens in a day. It can take some time. And, you know, it all depends. It depends on what it is that you are wanting, what it is that you are looking for. And so, you know, it can take a small amount of time. It can take a large amount of time. In that time, you have lessons. There's things you're learning in that time. So that the time has a value. And so when you're tuned in to that time on your awareness of what you're paying attention to, and not, you know, just hyper focused on being the victim, hyper focused on this problem or that problem, but you're more open minded, you got more information coming in, then you can, I don't know, just lost it there. But surely I think I made sense, hopefully, over what I was saying. I didn't have to. Sometimes I think, do I have to wrap up everything? Or do they, like, just catch on and it's like, okay, got it. And then just go on. But anyways, one of the other things I wanted to say was was what? Fuck. How long have I been talking? An hour and 8 minutes? Fuck. Okay, let me think if there's something else I wanted to talk about. Because in Texas, but I bet you that there's other places too. I mean, we're all being poisoned. I just thought that's so weird. That girl just said something's going to come in the air, and then the very next night, this thing shoots out something in the air, and then all the people are videotaping and start freaking out. It's like, because people they're putting stuff in the air to make us sick. Like, I think a lot of people know that. Like, there's so many people filming that all the time now. There is a lot. That is really, you know, the good part is that there's a lot of people paying attention to the sky. There's a lot of people paying attention to what's going on in the world. There's a lot of people talking. There's people talking about their problems. There's, we are shifting. We're shifting the conversations. We're shifting our outlook. We're changing our priorities. Like, it's in action. It's all going. So I'm like, there's like, I don't know what there would be to question. And I don't know. I just feel like some of the people just fight and argue over stuff that just doesn't fucking matter. It's going to show itself. Like, to keep trying to argue over Trump's the bad guy. Trump's the bad guy. He's bad just like all of them. And it's like, the bad guys are going to be revealed. The bad guys are going down. That's energetic. They can't. They won't be able to hide themselves. The energy is being revealed. We've changed the energy. The light, there's light coming in, everything. Like, there's arrests going on all the time. There is all sorts of stuff. Like, it's just nonstop going. And, oh yeah, because the NATO said that England and United States, and they went through some more places. They said that, like, Brazil was going to go way, way up. So this person who was showing this was saying something about the BRICS nations are going up. But that is all about the Nasara Gasara. So all of that stuff, that is what we're going to be going into, is the Nasara Gasara. So I don't understand how, because we will all be a part of the BRICS too. So I don't know why NATO was saying that, if they're just trying to really keep, because I feel like that Canada, Australia, America, and England, they're holding on to those ones as tight as they can. Like, those are their last ones to hold on to. And also, the Israel is has to do with it's a sovereign place too. Like, it has its own rule, like the Vatican, like DC. Like, there's weird stuff about that too. There's so many weird things. There's so much weird shit that's going to have to be coming out. And I think we just got to keep in mind, whatever. I think that the bad guys are kind of, like, there's some terrorists here, some cartel here, there's some, you know what I mean? They're like evenly spread out. Like, they got the top echelon of criminals as their army people. They're like the worst of the worst are their army people, who are out there to, cause problems with us. They came in these mass amounts of people, and those sleeper cells or whatever. But, I don't think they're going to just run out with a bunch of, like, over in that little village what that woman was talking about. If they delivered all those, like, I would see, like, in a village, and then I don't even know, I think in England, they're not even allowed to have weapons. I don't know in Scotland. So, they know that that's pretty quick, a little bloodbath, get that taken care of, but here, that would be different. They go out with those. I mean, they've got people with them in their gun, they've got them in their purses, they've got them in their pockets, they got them in their, fuck. Right away, it goes into a goddamn shootout at OK Corral. They know that. That's been a thing since, I was hearing that in 2020, like, all these Chinese soldiers that were waiting in Canada at the border, waiting to march over. But they have helmets on too, that they are not allowed to take their helmets off. It will detonate and blow their brains up, and then they can take out any of the soldiers they want. That's how they force their people to fight. And that they haven't come over, because part of what Joe had to do was everybody, there had to be 100% of that, and they were supposed to take all those things away from the people. But that is where we've all been fighting back. So we've caused them so much problems. We didn't go smoothly into just dying off for them. We've fought back. And that's the human spirit. That is our spirit that is here to overcome, to override the system. It's, we're going to be the winners in this scenario. So it's going to get, so much better. But there is going to still be bad stuff that's going to happen. And what was that one too? because it's all going to have to do with whatever you're meant to experience, whatever it is that and some bad stuff can go on near you, around you, and then also, we've also got to use our minds to, even when we're being poisoned, to know, like, okay, they can't kill me. Like, I can stay alive. Like, I know I can stay alive. I can heal myself, and they can't kill me. So that's what you also got to keep in your mind. When you, to me, as you are coming into this avatar kind of idea, this hologram kind of thing, to really focus on the real part of you, the energetic part of you. They can't do anything to that part of you. And so whatever happens, like if, getting sick, and then all of a sudden, if you get up out of bed and you start walking around and your body stays in there, then your body gave up, it died, it's over with, you're out of the game. But if you are, I think that we can heal. Like, I think that this transition is to help us learn that we can heal from all these sicknesses, all these things that they're doing to us, that we can keep healing. That as part of their game is to make us feel like that we can't and that we'll die and stuff. Because I think that we're shifting into this thing of realizing that we don't have to die. That the dying part was just a part of, just so when you incarnated, you weren't trapped in some horrendous life for a long, long time. So it was faster. But now we're going this, it's kind of like the light, but it's going to kind of just slow it down to get to like enjoyable, and as like everything is just going to kind of slow down from this, like, where it feels like it's chaotic, fast paced, like we're in some fucking blender and it's just shooting us around, and we're in a fucking this blender with a bunch of things that don't match us. Like, what are they making here? We're like, none of us go together. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like that is the separation. It's going to go in two different directions. So there's going to be the direct, like, man. I don't know. Like, is it going to be this separation in energies? Like, that is another thing too, is what I heard, is that this convergence time thing, where the two, I had talked about that before, where there's something, I don't know if it's called the Kali Yuga or something, but something with the cycles and how they have this convergence, and that we're in this convergence right now, but then they're going to split apart and they're going to go in two different directions. And so the people that are of one energy, if they're going to go so that they can experience the apocalypse and dystopian future that they're all focused on, I don't know if that's, and then the rest of us, we're going in this direction because we're going towards the age of Aquarius and turning everything in another direction. Or if because there's going to be a split in the people. I just don't know where they're all going and how it's all splitting up. There's going to be an abrupt thing where there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to leave. And so I don't know if it is that's going to be when they're going into their reality, because even in this one that we're going to be staying in, there's going to be certain levels, because you've got the people who haven't even awakened yet. You got the people that are kind of awake, but they're stuck on a fear. And then you have the people who are actively awake, who are actively seeking higher purpose and actively seeking, to become their best versions. And so you have people who are, actively working on themselves. The people who are still just kind of caught up, like, oh my God, what's happening? And then the people who are just like, we're just trying to live here, you guys. Quit talking about crazy stuff. So we've got these like three groups, and then everything in between, it's all this gray. So the people in these groups are going to wake up too. So even in this reality here, even if this splits off, like, I don't know who would be splitting to go, because it seems like it's more of a mental split, like where the people who are working on themselves and doing well, they're going to just propel and start, things are going to start going really good for them. And then the people who were all stuck in fear, that they're going to, like I've said before, how I see it is like, then they're kind of led to like, well, I want to, now I've got more focus. Now I see what's going on. And then the other people, they're the ones that the last waking up people, they're the ones that are going to have the hardest time on the feeling stupid, feeling tricked, feeling stupid about, like, ashamed of themselves, ashamed of the roles they played, ashamed of like all this stuff, and that they were just oblivious. Like, there'll be a lot of things about that. So we have that whole thing going. So I don't know, but there's tons of people leaving all the time. So all I know is that we're going through all of these different shifts and all of this chaos, but it's leading us into this other thing. We're going towards this age of Aquarius, this time of peace, abundance, of where we're going to get this money is going to come to us. Like, even though they're trying to really drag us out on some of us, we're going to get it. It's going to go. I think they've already relieved us of debt, but people don't know, so they keep paying it. But I think that that's already gone through the courts and whatnot. So I think that things are better for us than we even know. But there's got to be more stuff that's got to be revealed. We got to see more with the trials. We got to see more with the bad guys. People don't trust this person. They don't trust that person. Like, more has to be revealed so people can find peace, so that they can kind of relax. Everybody's so on edge and so confused. And you have so many people that think it's the end of the world. And it's just the beginning. It's the end of what we've lived through. It's the end of the fucking nonsense. So it's just the beginning, but it's just that there's such a amount of people who are accepting of nonsense. They're all okay about it. Like, fuck. But that's all just, it's not just low vibration. It's unhealed. It's not feeling good about themselves. That's the biggest problem in our fucking world, is that we got so many people that don't feel good about themselves. They hate themselves. So, fuck, what kind of world can we have when everybody hates themselves? Like, what's the solution? Accept yourself. Learn to love yourself. And accept other people. Quit judging everybody else and thinking that we all have to be so perfect. Allow everybody to just exist. And allow everybody to experience. So it's, and that comes from within us. And that's where we find peace on earth. That's where we find the beauty in life, is all of us coming to that collective conscious realization together of allowance, and that is, that is the flow, that is moving into harmony. So anyways, I feel like I'm just like talking all over the place, but it's the same thing. We're just going to be going through it until we're not going through it. And whatever you're going through is what you're supposed to go through. And the more that you pull yourself into a more aware, conscious state of being, then, the less you're going to feel burdened by things that are out of your control. Because it's pulling free from that, being the victim, and that they're doing all this stuff to us. So when you sit back, it's not like you're going to be all happy about it. When you sit back and you watch them doing this stuff, it's frustrating. And then sometimes you have to just look away, like, oh my God, they just, because that's what they want to do, is keep us frustrated, keep us upset, keep us mad, even the ones who are awake, because we are experiencing this and we're going through it, and they want to keep us mad and pissed off because they don't want us to be ascending. They don't want us to feel good. They don't want us to focus on ourselves. They don't want us to turn this world into a beautiful place, but we're going to do it. It's written in the stars. There's nothing they can do about it. So anyways, just keep working on you, and, and they're 100% poisonous all the fucking time. So you got to keep working on yourself. Like, seeing what your body needs. Maybe you just need rest. Maybe you need detox. Maybe, how to be really aware of what you eat. Like, I'm one to talk. Like, I'm eating so junky right now. Yesterday morning, as soon as I finished this, oh my God, that coughing fit was extreme. Oh my God, I swear to God, they just get worse and worse. It was like I kept coughing and coughing, and there was nothing. It was hurting. It was like hurting my ribs and stuff. You know, it's weird. It's like, what even triggers this cough attack all of a sudden out of the blue? But and it's so extreme, or I feel like that there's some entities trying to choke me out or something. And so I what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so after I finished my coughing bit, then man, what did I do after that? Fucking, I swear to God, all these days just running. I know I made chocolate chip cookies, so I made cookies. So I ate a ton of chocolate chip cookies, and then I made some sort of queso. I made this very unusual queso. So I ate that the day before. I just keep eating like chips and cookies and stuff. So I'm not eating good right now. Today I'm going to make some lentils, I think. Is just try and get some days in where you eat something that's good for you. But it's kind of hard. Like, and everything, it just, I don't know, everything tastes weird. Like, I made some stuff and it was like, oh my God, this tastes so fucking weird. What was it I made the other day where it was like, how could the bread? Fuck, I couldn't believe it. Like, even the butter I was like, what in the fuck is going on? But the cookies, see, the cookies taste good. It's like anything that has like a lot of sweetness just tastes good. And it's like, these motherfucking parasites, what the fuck? They really control me. So, I don't know. To me, you gotta do whatever it feels right to you. Like, and you've got so many different things, you know, just like the congestion. Like, I would just not smoke at all for right now just because of all the congestion. But then, you know, that's also my pain reliever, and I can't move my joints. And so I want to be able to move. Like, when you're sitting there and you just can't move, it's like, ugh. So it's like they have us up against a wall, you know, like so anyways, you just got to do whatever is right for you and keep taking care of yourself. Don't get caught up in what other people think about what you're doing or what other people think about you. That's a big thing. Don't worry about what everybody thinks about you. It's like you're hyper focused on that. There's a lot of shit you're missing out on because of where your focus is. Your focus and your concern is what other people think about you. It doesn't fucking matter. Let go of that shit. And it is a process. You know, and you will have people who will come in who will jab you, but those are your tests. Those are to see how far have you come. Do you just go back to your same kind of, you know, way that you used to be, or do you stand up for yourself? And don't forget, as you're going and you're learning to stand up for yourself, it's very awkward. You know, don't be hard on yourself if you do it and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. God, I'm so weird. I'm so awkward. Big fucking deal. It was like, let it go. Yeah, you know, you're learning. You're learning a whole new way of being. And so be proud of yourself. And also, you're doing it before a whole huge group of people. You're a trendsetter. So be proud of yourself. And I will talk to you later. Bye.